All right, welcome into the Power Community. I'm stoked tonight. I'm super stoked. I have my favorite people in
You
the
go,
world. Can you hear me?
yeah, you're going in and out.
It's cutting in. We've been having technology struggles tonight, so bear with us. We're working through this whole process. So let me.
Okay,
That
that sounds better. But
okay. All right. So welcome into today's Power Community broadcast. I'm super excited. I have one of our 50 co-authors on us tonight. As I wanted to bring all of you tonight an introduction to these amazing women who have agreed to graciously share their wisdom with you all. They're going to apparently the book to share their life. So the Power 50 book is 50 life lessons for becoming the best self. And today, that Mosaic Soul's poet. I'm telling you, y'all hear the poetry melts my heart. So keep on with this thing. So as you're cooking, make sure you share this video out and post into the conversation. My name is Batiste. I'm an ultimate power coach, number one reality-based success and recovery trainer. I'm welcoming you to Power Community. I'm welcoming you into the ultimate power team, no matter where you're finding us at. If you're finding us, it was breaking up. All right, is that better? Give me some thumbs up. I know we're having issue, so I'm trying to find that sweet spot. So I'll take those off. Hopefully that's a little better. Yvette, is that
oh,
better?
yeah, that's better. Because before I
Okay,
couldn't understand you hardly at
all
all.
right, good. So welcome to the 50 Million Partners, your ultimate power coach, America's number one reality success career trainer. I apologize in advance for feedback. I can hear it myself now. So I'm trying to adjust the sound and manipulate the sound on the technology. Struggle, it's a struggle, but it will not keep me from my mission. I'm committed to this process. So I don't want to take up all of the time, but just letting you guys know that this one here with me tonight, one of the contributing authors for the Power of the book. She's a member of the Power of Victim community and she has committed to share her story, her life lessons, and things that have helped her get through. She's going to be sharing a really unique perspective in the book. So I'm super excited that she's on. I'm super excited that she agreed to participate in the book. So, no further ado, and tell everyone a little bit about yourself so they kind of get a feel for who you are and how amazing you are so they know to love you like I love you.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Yvette. As she said, I am Mozayik, the soul's poet. And I write a lot of poetry. I write short stories. I've been blogging for 7 years about my journey through therapy. I went through intensive therapy for 3.5 years, and I blogged about before and after therapy on my blog, thesoulspoet.com. My passion is to help women heal by any means necessary, whether that's writing, music, art, just especially African American lesbians, because there are so many uh, relationships that are dysfunctional, but in our community, we tend to not ask for help because we are already stigmatized by being women, being a lesbian, and being an African American makes it hard to ask for help. So, my mission is to encourage women to get help and support each other while we get help, and to destroy stigmas of depression, anxiety, PTSD, any type of mental illness that causes us to have issues where we cannot have healthy relationships. So, but encouraged to participate in this program or this process of getting 50 women's stories to so that we can let generations coming after us know that you can do it. And that's my whole passion, is to let people know, if I did it, you can do it too. And there, I have daughters, a 30-year-old and a 40-year-old. Marci has daughters, and we all have young women in our community that we want to support. When I was a very young woman, I didn't get the help I needed. So that's why I want to participate with Marci to bring some wisdom for women. After we reach 50, we kind of go like, you know what? I don't care what other people say. I'm just going to be me. So I'm excited about this.
Amen. Especially that you get to that point, you're just like, oh, you can't. What you do does not affect me anymore in the ways that it used to affect me. Um, and I know, so Yvette has an organization of her own called Bring Get You Some Help. And when I first met Yvette and learned about her story and learned about her mission for African American lesbian women, was really powerful. And we really connected on the subject matter of domestic violence in particular, because it's unbeknownst to me, I knew it was prevalent in the lesbian and gay community, but I guess I didn't know what magnitude. So I was fortunate enough. This is what I love about that. Like, I've been able to ask her those kinds of questions that you always want to ask, but you just not comfortable. And she's always been listening to this very transparently, and she's been able to shed light on some things, questions that I've had, not from, and I always believe that there's no stupid questions. There's just a lot of stupid people who don't ask questions. But I also know you sometimes have to be careful who you ask questions to and how you ask them, because it can be deemed offensive when I didn't know that question, my belief, my thought was offensive. But to be able to have a resource like her to be able to just, say, hey, why does this happen? Why do people think this way? Or why do you make the decision you made? And she's just always been so gracious about just really taking it all the way down into terms that I can understand, because that's not my world, that's not my experience. And so being able to shine the light on the other side. And I think when we talk about the power of the, when we talk about what we want this book to do, what we want this community to build out to become, it's all about allowing people to see these different experiences. And no matter what you're going through, somebody went for you. So no matter, it might seem like you're in an insurmountable, difficult time, but rest assured somebody's been through it, somebody's gone through it, or is going through it, and can help you. And the testimony is the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes.
So, like Yvette talked about with her therapy, can you expand a little bit on, once you came out of the therapy, and you started your community for Girl Get You Some Help, which was hugely successful. What was it that you learned in the therapy process that propelled you to take that one step further and to share that information with other people?
What compelled me was, therapists would tell me that a lot of people go to therapy, but they don't change. So I became kind of like a poster child for different organizations as a success story. Now, I'm not perfect. I want people to know that just because you have therapy and you heal, it's not an eraser. It's not a magic wand. You still, after you know why you do the things you do, you still have to practice things that you learn in therapy until you get it to the point where things that would bother you before, they just, they just roll off your back. But what really encourages me is I changed. And because I changed, my daughters are open to therapy. My sons, my grandchildren are open to therapy. A few of my family members, children and grandchildren, have allowed themselves to access therapy. And so what drives me is for people to know what is therapy, why do you need therapy, how to find a good therapist, what to do if it's not a good therapist. I mean, there's so much information that's needed, especially for people who have been stigmatized or we don't, African Americans don't usually trust the psychological community for good reason. So what drives me is that people will, if you get a bad therapist, just get another therapist. Or let's create a community where we can say, hey, what do you think about this? Or I went to therapy and I didn't like it, or I loved it, or where we can support each other and healing. Because that, for me, that's the only way we're going to actually make a difference in society, because the hand that rocks the cradle is the hand that really rules the world. So if you have mothers or women who are not healthy, then we're going to produce unhealthy children because we don't have the right tools to raise a psychologically healthy child. And that was my thing. I didn't know what I was doing, and so I just want, especially young women, to know that you can do it. And there are people who have done it. So if I can do it, you can do it. I had a lot to overcome, and I still work daily on being a better person. I just want women to heal.
Right. And I love that you are so honest about the fact that it's not an overnight thing. Yes, you've gone through it. Yes, you worked through things. Um, but there's still more work to be done. We're always a work in progress. And all the healing work that I'm doing as well, I'm just like you. There's always going to be something that comes along. That's why I stay submerged in personal development, because I don't ever want to fall back and into um, other patterns of behavior, habits. I certainly don't want to pick a new bad habits that's not on the cusp of 50. I don't want to do that. But I think it's powerful testimony and um, validation for this power of 50 process that, as you said, you were brave enough and courageous enough to go seek therapy. Most people don't. But the fact that you did then affected generations that came behind you, and it opened their eyes up to, it removed the stigma for them, and they have been able to now, I know you share stories with me one-on-one, success that you and your family have experienced as a result of their willingness to then go and get there.
Mm-hmm.
So I absolutely love that.
Mm-hmm.
So what made you decide that you wanted to participate in our different project?
Oh my goodness. You're going to be 50. You don't look like you're going to be 50. And because I love you, I want to participate in whatever you're doing. I want to support you. But I'm 57, and I know when I turned 50 that is the year that I went to therapy. That is the year that I decided.
See, I didn't even know that she got. I'm learning with y'all. I'm learning with y'all. I did not know that.
Yeah, that was the year I was 50 years old, and I felt proud of myself that at 50 I could say I have a problem and I need help.
Yeah.
But I had been looking for help for a long time. But what makes me really want to be involved is the opportunity to share with younger women wisdom gleaned from my experiences. If just one woman hears the message that if your intention is love, it's going to be okay, and they run with that, like, okay, it's hard now, it's tough, but, Yvette said, hey, if I just hang in there, it's going to get better. And I do promise you, on the other side is happy. And I want women to know that you can be happy. And I know in my depression, I didn't think that I could be happy because I had been depressed for so long. And so in the book, I'm going to share one factor that caused me so much depression. And you know why? There were many reasons why women are depressed. But as me, as a young woman, I didn't have the support. But I'm not angry at those people because they didn't know what to do either. And that's why I'm passionate about the book and sharing my story and reading other women's stories so that women can have a legacy. They can look back 50 years from now and say, well, Marci did it, Yvette did it, or just know. I know personally, I read books, and two books changed my life at 50 and let me know I could start over. That my
Let's
life,
share it. What's the title? Let's share it. Let's share it. We about sharing information. I
well,
got my notepad here. I'm ready.
the first book was Alfreda Lanix, Laniox. She's a minister in LA, and she wrote a book called Go to Hell. Now that caught my eye, but as go to hell. But as I read her book, it was like I was waiting for it because she talked about how we are living in a state of hell if we're not improving ourselves, if we are stuck in religion or stuck in what society wants for us. So she talks about how to come out of hell by, but she was a over 50 woman who had started over. So I'm like, well, she did it, I could do it. And then the other book was Iyanla Vanzant's book, Peace from Broken Pieces.
Broken Pieces. Yes. That's on my book. I love that book.
Yeah, the first chapter I wept because she was telling my story. But what I really took away was here was another over 50-year-old woman who was starting over. So it encouraged me to go ahead and take my life back and make it and create what the life that I wanted.
Right.
They
no, those are two good books. I haven't read it. Go to hell. I'm gonna check that. I'm gonna check that out. But to your point, the power of books and the power of telling your story in a book. You never know who that person is, what space they're in at the moment that they find your book.
Yeah.
And inside those pages, you have the ability to change lives.
Yeah.
I was talking to one of the other authors earlier today, and we were talking about she's over 60. And so we were talking about some of the unique struggles that women have. And it's amazing when we start having open conversations and open dialogue. Oh yeah, that was my experience. Yep, that was my experience. We are nothing alike. We're not in places. We're not even in the same generation. But the experience of womanhood has so many same similar components for all of us. Mm-hmm. And so that was the whole concept about putting this story in a book, because I know the power of books. And you just said, like, it completely changed your life. When I was going through my healing, I turned to books, and I'm reading and I'm taking notes, and I'm absorbing, and I'm digging in, I'm dissecting. I can do it at my own pace, and I can have feelings that I need to have without fear of judgment, because I was in my own space. I was doing it at the rate that I need to do it at. And sometimes we'll talk about the getting help piece. People don't want to go to a formal counselor or psychologist. One of my clients, she was sharing with me the other day. She said, I've gotten healthier working with you in the last 4 months than I did 20 plus years of formalized counseling. Mm-hmm. Not because counselors didn't know what they were talking about, their methodologies were wrong. They couldn't meet her where she was. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And as a woman, I was able to meet her as she was, and I didn't have the legal constraints of coach that psychologists I can have that conversation with them, like, excuse me, like, what? You know, it breaks down barriers. But that's why I wanted to put it in a book. So I love that you sharing that was one of the big things for you. Um, I don't want to give that story from the book. Obviously, it would be nice to buy the book. I'm trying to figure out a way she can share. So her theme for the book is loving with intention. So talk about without giving away the story. Don't give away the juicy part, but how you came about um, being intentional about love as your life lesson.
Well, throughout my life, I've I've tried to make decisions based on love. I taught my children to look at the intention of a person. If someone's doing something that's hurting you, that you feel hurt, but what is their intention? Is their intention to hurt you, or is their intention from love? And they really believe that that is what the right thing to do. And when you decide that their intention is they love, then it's easier to forgive and understand and have compassion and not take it personal if
Mm-hmm.
someone's doing something that you think is wrong and it's hurting you. And so I look in the book, I'll share a story of when I was 18 and I had to make a hard decision. And I was depressed for years because I felt I had done something wrong. What gave me peace about the decision was I did it out of love. I didn't do it because of anything other than I wanted the best outcome. But it took like 30 years for me to find peace with that decision. And I spent a lot of years crying and feeling bad about myself. And really, I didn't have to because my intention has always been love. So I want women to know that I think I watched one of your videos on YouTube and you were talking about how you can only make a decision based on the knowledge that you have at the time.
Right.
I spent years beating myself up about a decision I made but in an 18-year-old depressed mind. I didn't have the resources, the support to make a really good decision for my life. So I did the best I could. But the difference in the outcome is the intention. And I've learned over my life, whenever the intention is love, it's going to always be okay. And whether you're religious or not, there's a universal principle that a law that if you reap what you sow. So if
Right.
you're making decisions and sowing things based on anger or hate or whatever negative feeling or emotion you're having, it's not going to happen. You're not going to reap any good benefit from that. So I can look back over my life and look at the decisions that I thought were detrimental, but because my intention was good, God or the universe allowed it to have a good outcome.
Right. Right. And
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, when you guys hear her story, and I love the story that she's tell, it's from an experience that I know for a fact. There are lots of people living that experience. There are a lot of people faced with the choice that she had to make at 18 that have made the same choice she made, but still term when it's 30 years. You have some women that go to grave and never heal that pain. And so being able to see, hear, and feel what somebody else did and how they reconcile that. And I love the whole loving with intention because, as she said, when she heard she went into it with the right intention of love, the outcome was a good outcome. It resulted exactly how the universe needed it to happen. And had she not made that, we have these forks in the roads and these moments in time where we can go left or we can go right. And no matter if you go right your whole life, there's not there's not an option to stay the same. And so once we make the decision to go left or to go right, okay, it says I'm breaking. I don't know how to feel about this sound, guys. So bear with me. I apologize. It's breaking up. So no matter if you decide to go left or you go right, you know that your life's going to change. And it's a matter of what do I do with the changes? What am I going to do with those outcomes? How am I going to live on that fork in the road? Because you can't sit stuck there. That's just not an option. So I can't even tell you. When she told me what her school was going to be tonight, I was just like, wow. Wow. This is a story I had heard. She actually a number of stories, and I had heard that one, and I was just like, wow, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Someone's going to have their life change because of that story. I know that for a fact.
Yes, and that's what I'm excited about this book, The Power of 50. Because can you imagine? I'm getting kind of emotional about it. But can you imagine 50 women telling their story? If I had had that at 18, 19, 20, if I had had women who said, you know what, don't feel bad. I did that too. And you'll get through it. You'll be okay. I promise you. I didn't have that. So I'm really excited, and I feel this is divine that we are able to do this together. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. So, okay, you guys, this was our first author interview. In the interest of time, I promised her I wouldn't monopolize her evening. It's 5 o'clock where she is, 5:30 now. So thank you guys for joining in. Make sure if you're not already signed up for the Power of the Community, click the links that are included with the video. If you're finding us on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, whatever platform you're discovering us on, please share it with someone. It can change someone's life. It will change someone's life. I promise you. Maybe not today, but by the time we're all done, we're about to kick off. Lives are going to be changed because of it. So join the community. Power 50 community is intimate. We never want to minimize the impact that men have in our lives in our communities. And there's a special group just for the ladies, a woman that gets them. Ladies, make sure you get connected, and there's powerful women in there that you need to know. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks for joining us for the Power 50 community event. Thank you so much for being the first interview and working through my technology struggles with me. I know I need to get better microphone equipment now. So,
Bye.
blessings for me. All right, y'all. Have a good night. See you later.